One family controls more wealth than most countries possess, influences the policies of major world governments, and has shaped global financial markets for over 250 years. Their name is synonymous with money itself, yet most people have no idea how their empire actually operates or the extent of their continuing influence over the global economy. The Rothschild family doesn't appear on Forbes' richest people lists because their wealth isn't held in publicly traded companies or measurable assets. It's embedded in the infrastructure of global finance itself: central banks, government bonds, commodity markets, and financial institutions that form the backbone of the international monetary system. We're talking about a financial empire worth an estimated $2 trillion, spread across hundreds of banks, investment funds, and commercial enterprises in every major economy on Earth. But the real power isn't in the money they own. It's in the money they control through financial institutions that manage the economic policies of entire nations. Here's what makes their story absolutely incredible. The Rothschilds didn't start wealthy. Amschel Rothschild began as a small-time coin dealer in Frankfurt's Jewish ghetto, dealing with local nobility who needed quick cash for their gambling debts. Within 2 generations, his 5 sons had established the most powerful banking network in Europe while financing both sides of every major war. By 1850, the Rothschild banks controlled more wealth than any government on Earth. They could make or break national currencies, determine which countries could borrow money for military campaigns, and influence the outcome of wars through strategic lending decisions. European governments needed Rothschild approval for major financial decisions. But here's what's truly staggering. They achieved this power without owning armies, controlling territory, or holding political office. They built an invisible empire based purely on financial leverage and information advantages that enabled them to manipulate markets, currencies, and governments while remaining largely hidden from public scrutiny. The Rothschild family pioneered techniques for international finance that seem normal today, but were revolutionary in the 18th century: cross-border banking, currency arbitrage, government bond trading, and central bank operations. They essentially invented modern international finance while using it to accumulate unprecedented wealth and influence. Their information network was more sophisticated than any government intelligence service. Using carrier pigeons, coded messages, and a network of agents throughout Europe, the Rothschilds knew about political developments, military movements, and economic changes before the governments involved. This information advantage enabled them to profit from events they sometimes helped orchestrate. The most famous example was the Battle of Waterloo, where Nathan Rothschild used advanced knowledge of Napoleon's defeat to manipulate British government bonds and make profits equivalent to billions of dollars today. But Waterloo was just one transaction in a systematic campaign to gain financial control over European governments. Today, Rothschild banks continue operating in major financial centers worldwide, managing investments for wealthy families, governments, and multinational corporations. They remain one of the world's most influential financial dynasties, while maintaining the privacy and discretion that has characterized their operations for centuries. This is the story of how a Jewish family from Frankfurt's ghetto became Europe's shadow government, how they built financial institutions that continue controlling global economic policies today, and how they've maintained extraordinary wealth and influence across 8 generations while remaining largely invisible to public oversight. What the Rothschilds accomplished wasn't just business success. It was the creation of financial power structures that transcend individual governments while establishing the template for how modern international finance operates behind the scenes of democratic institutions. To understand how the Rothschilds built their invisible empire, you need to understand what Europe looked like in 1744, when Amschel Rothschild was born in Frankfurt's Jewish quarter. A fragmented continent of dozens of independent states, constant warfare, primitive financial systems, and systematic persecution of Jewish communities who were excluded from most legitimate professions. The Holy Roman Empire was disintegrating into hundreds of competing territories ruled by princes, dukes, and electors, who maintained their power through military force while chronically lacking the financial resources necessary to fund their armies, build infrastructure, or maintain governmental administration. European monarchs faced a fundamental problem. They needed constant access to large amounts of money for military campaigns, but they had no reliable methods for raising capital beyond taxation of already impoverished populations or confiscation of property from wealthy merchants who could relocate their assets to competing territories. Banking was primitive and fragmented, with most financial services provided by Italian merchants, German traders, or Jewish moneylenders who operated under severe legal restrictions that limited their activities while exposing them to arbitrary persecution and asset confiscation. International finance was essentially non-existent because currency systems varied between territories. Legal frameworks provided minimal protection for cross-border transactions, and communication systems were too slow and unreliable for coordinating complex financial operations across vast distances. But these limitations created extraordinary opportunities for anyone who could develop financial techniques that transcended local restrictions while providing services that European rulers desperately needed for their political and military ambitions. The Jewish community in Frankfurt existed under severe legal restrictions that excluded them from most guilds, professions, and commercial activities, while confining them to a cramped ghetto where hundreds of families lived in conditions that would be considered intolerable by contemporary standards. These restrictions, paradoxically, created advantages for financial innovation. Jewish families were forced to develop skills in currency exchange, international trade, and financial services that were essential for survival, while being excluded from traditional forms of wealth accumulation like land ownership or guild membership. Jewish communities also maintained international connections through religious and family networks that spanned European territories, providing access to information, credit relationships, and commercial opportunities that weren't available to Gentile merchants who operated within single political jurisdictions. Religious and cultural traditions emphasized education, literacy, and numerical skills that were essential for financial success while developing trust networks based on family relationships and religious obligations that could support complex commercial arrangements across vast distances. Mayor Amschel Rothschild's early life reflected both the constraints and opportunities that characterized Jewish existence in 18th century Europe. Born into a family that operated a small money-changing business, he received traditional Jewish education while learning commercial skills necessary for survival in a hostile environment. The death of his father when Meyer was 13 forced him to become an apprentice with the banking house of Wolf Jakob Oppenheimer in Hanover, where he learned international finance while developing connections with German nobility, who needed financial services for their political and military activities. This apprenticeship provided crucial insights into how European finance operated, while revealing the enormous opportunities available to anyone who could provide reliable banking services to rulers who were constantly struggling to fund their governmental and military expenses. Returning to Frankfurt in 1763, Meyer Amschel began building financial relationships with local nobility while developing expertise in rare coin trading, currency exchange, and international commercial finance that would form the foundation for everything his family would accomplish. The political environment was ideal for financial innovation. The 7 Years' War, 1756–1763, had bankrupted most European governments while demonstrating the crucial importance of reliable financing for military success. Rulers who could access credit could maintain armies that ensured their political survival. Economic development was accelerating throughout Europe as agricultural improvements, population growth, and technological innovation created wealth that needed financial institutions for investment, protection, and international transfer. Traditional banking was inadequate for these emerging requirements. Communication improvements were beginning to enable coordination of financial activities across greater distances, while still providing enormous advantages to anyone who could develop superior information networks for tracking political developments and market conditions. Most importantly for our story, European anti-Semitism created a peculiar situation where Jewish families were simultaneously excluded from most legitimate professions and uniquely positioned to provide financial services that Gentile merchants couldn't or wouldn't offer. The combination of systematic persecution and specialized skills created incentives for Jewish families to develop financial techniques that were more sophisticated, reliable, and profitable than anything available from traditional banking institutions. Mayer Amschel's strategic insight was recognizing that European political fragmentation created opportunities for financial intermediaries who could operate across political boundaries while providing services to multiple competing governments simultaneously. Rather than choosing sides in European political conflicts, the Rothschilds would develop financial relationships with all sides while profiting from the conflicts themselves through lending, currency manipulation, and information advantages that enabled them to benefit regardless of political outcomes. This approach required extraordinary diplomatic skills, sophisticated risk management, and financial techniques that could generate profits while maintaining neutrality in conflicts where choosing the wrong side could result in asset confiscation, exile, or execution. The strategy also required systematic development of information networks that could provide advance warning of political changes, military developments, and economic shifts that would affect the value of currencies, government bonds, and commercial investments. Most importantly, success required maintaining family unity and strategic coordination across generations while adapting to changing political conditions and technological developments that would reshape European finance over the following centuries. The foundation that Mayer Amschel established in Frankfurt would enable his 5 sons to build financial institutions in London, Paris, Vienna, Naples, and Frankfurt that would dominate European finance while establishing the template for modern international banking. Chapter 1. Frankfurt Origins. Mayer Amschel Rothschild's transformation from ghetto money changer to Europe's most influential financier began with a simple but revolutionary insight. European nobility were chronically short of cash, despite owning vast territories and commanding powerful armies, creating opportunities for anyone who could provide discreet, reliable financial services. Frankfurt's Jewish quarter in the 1760s was a world of severe restrictions and desperate overcrowding, where 3,000 Jews were confined to a single street and forbidden from most commercial activities, political participation, or property ownership outside the ghetto walls. But these limitations paradoxically created advantages for financial innovation that Gentile merchants couldn't replicate. The legal restrictions that excluded Jews from guilds, agriculture, and manufacturing forced them to develop expertise in activities that required minimal physical assets, but maximum intellectual sophistication, currency exchange, international trade, and financial services that could generate income through knowledge rather than property ownership. Mayer Amschel's early business involved rare coin dealing, where he discovered that European nobility would pay premium prices for ancient coins that enhanced their prestige while demonstrating their cultural sophistication. Coin dealing provided entry into aristocratic circles that were otherwise inaccessible to Jewish merchants. But the real opportunity came through understanding that nobles who collected expensive coins often needed immediate cash for gambling debts, military expenses, or political obligations. Mayer Amschel could provide discreet loans secured by valuable collections while charging interest rates that reflected both financial risk and the premium for confidentiality. Prince William IX of Hesse-Kassel became Mayer Amschel's most important early client, not because of coin collecting, but because of his need for financial services that could manage vast wealth accumulated through providing mercenary soldiers to other European powers, particularly Britain during the American Revolution. Prince William's mercenary business generated enormous cash flows that required sophisticated financial management for international currency conversion, investment in profitable securities, and discreet wealth preservation that avoided taxation or confiscation by competing political authorities. Mayer Amschel provided financial services that enabled Prince William to maximize returns on mercenary income, while maintaining liquidity for political and military requirements. These services required international connections, currency expertise, and investment knowledge that were unavailable from traditional banking institutions. The relationship with Prince William provided crucial lessons in international finance while demonstrating the extraordinary profits available to financial intermediaries who could serve the complex requirements of European ruling elites. The prince's business generated annual profits exceeding 600,000 florins, equivalent to tens of millions of dollars today. But Meyer Amschel recognized that serving individual nobles, however wealthy, was limiting compared to opportunities in government finance, where entire countries needed funding for military campaigns and governmental operations. Government finance offered scale and security that private lending couldn't match. The American Revolution created unprecedented opportunities for government lending, as European powers required massive financing for military operations, while colonial disruptions created currency fluctuations and commercial dislocations that enabled enormous profits for sophisticated financial intermediaries. Meyer Amschel began facilitating international financial transactions for Prince William, while developing connections with British banking houses, French financiers, and other European money centers that could handle the scale and complexity of government finance during wartime conditions. The skills developed through serving Prince William, currency arbitrage, international fund transfers, government bond trading, and discreet wealth management, provided the foundation for everything the Rothschild family would accomplish in international finance over the following centuries. Family strategy emphasized education and specialization, as Meyer Amschel trained his 5 sons in different aspects of international finance while maintaining coordinated approaches to complex transactions that required simultaneous operations in multiple European financial centers. Amschel Meyer, the eldest son, remained in Frankfurt to maintain relationships with German nobility and manage Central European operations. His expertise focused on currency exchange and commercial lending that served German states and Austrian territories. Salomon Meyer was positioned in Vienna to develop relationships with Austrian governmental officials and nobility who controlled Central European politics. Vienna's position as Habsburg imperial capital provided access to governmental finance opportunities throughout the Austrian Empire. Nathan Meyer was sent to London to establish relationships with British banking institutions and governmental authorities who controlled global trade finance and international currency markets. London was becoming Europe's dominant financial center with global commercial connections. Karl Meyer was positioned in Naples to develop relationships with Italian nobility and governmental authorities while managing Mediterranean trade finance. Naples provided access to Italian commercial networks and connections with North African and Eastern Mediterranean markets. James Meyer was sent to Paris to develop relationships with French governmental authorities and banking institutions. Paris was Europe's largest economy and provided access to continental European financial markets and governmental finance opportunities. The five-brother strategy enabled coordinated international operations while providing local expertise in each major European financial center. Family coordination enabled complex transactions that required simultaneous operations across multiple jurisdictions and currency systems. Communication systems were crucial for coordinated operations across vast distances. The Rothschild family developed courier networks, coded messaging systems, and information-gathering capabilities that exceeded those available to most government intelligence services. Information advantages enabled profitable transactions through advanced knowledge of political developments, military outcomes, and economic changes that affected currency values, government bond prices, and commercial opportunities. Information was often more valuable than capital for generating extraordinary profits. Religious and cultural traditions provided additional advantages for international operations. Jewish communities throughout Europe maintained connections that could facilitate commercial relationships, while traditional Jewish education emphasized numerical skills and legal analysis essential for financial success. Marriage strategies reinforced family unity while expanding business connections through careful selection of spouses who brought additional commercial relationships, financial resources, or political connections that enhanced family business capabilities. The prohibition against intermarriage with Gentiles, while limiting social integration, provided protection against divided loyalties and external influences that might compromise family business strategies or reveal confidential information to competitors. Financial innovations included techniques for currency arbitrage that could generate profits from exchange rate differences between European monetary systems. Currency trading required sophisticated understanding of political and economic factors that influenced relative currency values. Government bond trading became increasingly important as European wars required massive government borrowing that created opportunities for bond dealers who could manage complex transactions while providing liquidity for government securities markets. International fund transfers enabled wealthy clients to move money between countries while avoiding taxation, currency controls, or political restrictions that might limit wealth preservation and investment opportunities. Risk management techniques included diversification strategies that spread investments across multiple currencies, countries, and asset classes, while maintaining liquidity that enabled rapid response to changing political and economic conditions. By 1800, Meyer Amschel had established financial capabilities that enabled complex international operations while positioning his 5 sons to dominate European finance through coordinated strategies that combined local expertise with family coordination and information advantages. The foundation built in Frankfurt would enable the Rothschild family to achieve financial influence that exceeded that of most European governments while establishing precedents for international banking that continue influencing global finance today. The transformation from ghetto money changer to international financier demonstrated how systematic business development, family coordination, and financial innovation could overcome legal restrictions and social prejudice while creating competitive advantages that enabled extraordinary wealth accumulation and political influence. Chapter 2: 5 Arrows. The dispersion of the 5 Rothschild brothers across Europe's major financial centers between 1800 and 1815 created the world's first truly international banking network, with coordinated operations that could manipulate markets, currencies, and government policies while maintaining the appearance of independent local banks serving national interests. Nathan Meyer Rothschild's establishment in London, beginning in 1798, represented the most crucial expansion of family operations. Because Britain was emerging as Europe's dominant financial power, while maintaining the most sophisticated commercial networks and government finance systems on the continent. Nathan's initial operations involved textile trading and commercial finance that served Manchester's expanding industrial economy while developing relationships with British merchants, banking houses, and government officials who controlled international trade and currency policies. But Nathan quickly recognized that commodity trading and commercial finance were limited compared to opportunities in government bonds and international currency exchange that could generate enormous profits through superior information and coordinated operations with his brother's European networks. The Napoleonic Wars created unprecedented opportunities for government finance, as European powers required massive funding for military campaigns, while currency fluctuations and political disruptions created arbitrage opportunities for sophisticated financial intermediaries. Nathan established relationships with British government officials who needed financing for military operations while developing expertise in British government bonds that represented the most sophisticated and liquid securities markets in Europe. British government finance required enormous capital mobilization for military expenditures while maintaining confidence in government securities that enabled continued borrowing for extended military campaigns against Napoleon's continental European empire. Nathan's information network provided crucial advantages for government bond trading. Through advanced knowledge of military developments, political changes, and economic conditions that affected British government creditworthiness and bond values. The family courier system enabled Nathan to receive information from continental Europe days or weeks before official government reports reached London, providing opportunities for profitable trades based on advanced knowledge of events affecting government bond values. James Mayer Rothschild's establishment in Paris during the Napoleonic period required extraordinary diplomatic skills because French authorities were suspicious of foreign financiers while needing financial services for government operations and international commerce. James developed relationships with French government officials and banking institutions while maintaining his family's neutrality during conflicts between France and other European powers, where his brothers operated banking businesses. French government finance requirements included funding for Napoleon's military campaigns, while managing currency stability and international trade relationships that were disrupted by European warfare and British naval blockades. James's operations provided discrete financial services that served French governmental requirements while maintaining communication and coordination with his brother's operations in territories that were technically enemy jurisdictions during wartime. Karl Mayer Rothschild's position in Naples provided access to Italian financial markets while serving governmental authorities who needed funding for military operations and territorial administration during periods of frequent political change and foreign occupation. Naples was strategically positioned for Mediterranean trade finance while providing access to Italian commercial networks that connected European markets with North African, Eastern Mediterranean, and global commercial relationships. Italian political fragmentation created opportunities for financial intermediaries who could operate across territorial boundaries while serving multiple competing authorities who needed funding for governmental operations and military activities. Karl's expertise in Mediterranean commerce enabled family operations to benefit from trade disruptions and currency fluctuations created by Napoleonic wars while maintaining commercial relationships that could continue regardless of political outcomes. Salomon Mayer Rothschild's position in Vienna provided access to Austrian government finance while serving Habsburg imperial authorities who controlled Central European politics and needed funding for military operations against Napoleon's expansion. Vienna was the Habsburg imperial capital with authority over territories spanning Central Europe, making Austrian government finance crucial for continental European political stability and military coordination against French expansion. Austrian government bond trading required sophisticated understanding of Habsburg financial capabilities and political objectives while managing complex currency relationships between Austrian territories and other European monetary systems. Salomon's operations enabled family coordination with Austrian government policies while maintaining relationships that could influence Habsburg decisions about military financing and political alliances during European conflicts. Amschel Rothschild remained in Frankfurt to coordinate family operations while maintaining relationships with German nobility and commercial networks that connected Northern European financial markets with Mediterranean and Eastern European commerce. Frankfurt's position as a German commercial center provided access to currency exchange and commercial finance that served multiple German states while maintaining coordination between family operations across European financial centers. German political fragmentation created opportunities for financial services that could operate across territorial boundaries while serving multiple competing authorities who needed funding for governmental operations and military activities. Family coordination required sophisticated communication systems that could maintain security while enabling rapid information transfer between family members operating in different political jurisdictions during wartime conditions. The communication network included courier services, coded messaging, and trusted agents who could provide information about political developments, military movements, and market conditions that affected financial opportunities across European territories. Information gathering capabilities exceeded those available to most government intelligence services while providing competitive advantages for currency trading, government bond speculation, and investment decisions that required advanced knowledge of political and economic changes. Coded communication systems protected family business secrets while enabling coordination of complex financial transactions that required simultaneous operations in multiple European financial centers with different currency systems and regulatory frameworks. Financial coordination enabled arbitrage operations that could profit from currency differences, interest rate variations, and government bond price discrepancies between European markets while managing risks through diversification and hedging strategies. The family's ability to transfer funds between European financial centers provided services that were unavailable from other banking institutions while enabling government and commercial clients to manage international financial requirements. Currency arbitrage operations generated substantial profits through sophisticated understanding of factors that influenced exchange rates between European monetary systems while maintaining liquidity that enabled rapid response to changing market conditions. Government bond arbitrage enabled profitable trading through advanced knowledge of political and military developments that affected government creditworthiness while providing liquidity for government securities markets. Risk management techniques included diversification across multiple currencies and countries, while maintaining family coordination that enabled mutual support during financial crises or political disruptions that might affect individual family operations. The integration of 5 separate banking operations into coordinated international networks created competitive advantages that enabled the Rothschild family to dominate European finance while providing financial services that exceeded those available from purely national banking institutions. By 1815, the Five-Arrow strategy had established the Rothschild family as Europe's most influential financial power, with operations in every major financial center and relationships with all major European governments regardless of their political or military alignments. The network effects created through coordinated international operations enabled complex financial transactions that required expertise, capital, and political relationships that were unavailable to competing banking institutions that operated within single national jurisdictions. The family had achieved financial influence that enabled them to affect European political relationships through lending decisions while maintaining neutrality that protected their operations regardless of political outcomes or territorial changes resulting from European conflicts. The foundation established through Five-Arrow expansion would enable the Rothschild family to achieve unprecedented financial influence during the post-Napoleonic period, while establishing precedents for international banking that continue influencing global financial institutions today. Chapter 3. Waterloo Fortune. The Battle of Waterloo on June 18, 1815, represents the most famous example of how superior information networks enabled the Rothschild family to generate extraordinary profits while demonstrating their ability to manipulate financial markets through advanced knowledge of events that affected government bond prices and currency values. Nathan Rothschild's information network had developed sophisticated systems for gathering intelligence about military developments, political changes, and economic conditions throughout Europe, while maintaining communication capabilities that exceeded those available to most government officials and military commanders. The family's courier service used carrier pigeons, fast horses, and trusted agents who could travel rapidly between European financial centers while carrying coded messages that protected business secrets and enabled coordination of complex financial transactions. For the Waterloo campaign, Nathan established specific intelligence gathering operations that could provide immediate notification of battle outcomes while enabling rapid financial transactions based on advanced knowledge of military results that would affect British government bond prices. The financial stakes were enormous because British government bonds represented the foundation of London financial markets, while Napoleon's victory would devastate British creditworthiness and currency stability, creating opportunities for massive profits or catastrophic losses depending on investment positions. British government bonds, called consols, were trading at depressed prices during the weeks before Waterloo because investors feared Napoleon's military capabilities, while uncertainty about battle outcomes created volatility that enabled profitable speculation for anyone with reliable information. Nathan Rothschild had accumulated detailed intelligence about both British and French military capabilities, while developing assessment capabilities that enabled more accurate predictions of likely battle outcomes than were available to government officials or military commanders. On the morning of June 18, 1815, Nathan's intelligence network was positioned to provide immediate notification of battle results, while his London trading operations were prepared to execute massive financial transactions based on advanced knowledge of military outcomes. The battle began at approximately 11:30 a.m., with Napoleon attacking Wellington's positions, while Prussian forces under Blucher moved to support British troops. The outcome remained uncertain for most of the day, with both sides experiencing significant casualties and tactical advantages. Nathan's intelligence agents were positioned near the battlefield with instructions to provide immediate notification of battle results while fast couriers were prepared to carry information to London financial markets before official government reports became available. By early evening, it became clear that Napoleon had been decisively defeated, with French forces retreating while Wellington and Blucher maintained control of the battlefield. Napoleon's military power had been permanently broken, eliminating the threat to British security. Nathan Rothschild received confirmation of Napoleon's defeat during the evening of June 18th, approximately 24 hours before official news reached London through government channels. This information advantage provided crucial time for financial transactions based on advanced knowledge, but Nathan's response to the Waterloo information demonstrates sophisticated understanding of market psychology and trading strategies that maximized profits through manipulation of other investors' expectations rather than simply acting on superior information. On the morning of June 19th, Nathan appeared at the London Stock Exchange with a grim expression while beginning to sell British government bonds, creating the impression that he had received bad news about the battle outcome. Other investors, knowing about Nathan's superior information network, interpreted his selling as evidence that Napoleon had won the battle, creating panic selling that drove British government bond prices to extremely low levels. Nathan's initial selling was relatively small, designed primarily to create market psychology that would drive down prices rather than to dispose of large holdings. The goal was creating buying opportunities rather than generating immediate profits through sales. As other investors continued panic selling based on their interpretation of Nathan's behavior, bond prices fell to levels that represented extraordinary buying opportunities for anyone who actually knew that Britain had won the battle. After bond prices had fallen dramatically, Nathan reversed his market position and began buying British government bonds aggressively while the market remained convinced that Napoleon had achieved victory at Waterloo. Nathan's buying continued throughout the morning of June 19th, while bond prices remained depressed due to investors' fears about Napoleon's victory. The buying was conducted through agents to avoid revealing Nathan's changed market position. Official news of Wellington's victory reached London during the afternoon of June 19th, causing British government bond prices to surge dramatically as investors realized that Napoleon's threat had been permanently eliminated. Nathan's profits from the Waterloo speculation were extraordinary, estimated at approximately $1 million, equivalent to roughly $100 million today. But more importantly, the transaction demonstrated his ability to manipulate markets through superior information and sophisticated trading strategies. The Waterloo profits provided capital for expanded operations, while establishing Nathan's reputation as London's most influential financial operator, with capabilities that exceeded those of established British banking institutions. But the Waterloo transaction also revealed the family's ability to profit from European political conflicts while maintaining neutrality that protected their operations regardless of military outcomes or political changes resulting from warfare. The information advantages demonstrated at Waterloo were systematic rather than accidental, reflecting investment in intelligence-gathering capabilities that provided competitive advantages for currency trading, government bond speculation, and commercial finance operations. Post-Waterloo Europe created unprecedented opportunities for international finance as political stability enabled expanded commercial activities, while government debt requirements provided opportunities for bond trading and lending operations. Nathan used Waterloo profits to expand operations throughout European financial markets, while establishing relationships with government officials who needed financing for post-war reconstruction and political reorganization. The British government's recognition of Nathan's financial capabilities led to informal consulting relationships that provided influence over British financial policies while creating opportunities for profitable transactions based on advanced knowledge of policy decisions. Nathan's success attracted other European governments who needed sophisticated financial services for debt management, currency stabilization, and international trade finance that required expertise in multiple European financial markets. The family coordination that had enabled Waterloo profits was expanded to serve government clients throughout Europe, while maintaining neutrality that enabled profitable relationships with all major European powers regardless of their political alignments. Government bond trading became the foundation for Rothschild international operations, while providing influence over government policies through lending decisions and financial advice that affected national economic strategies. The precedent established through Waterloo speculation, using superior information to manipulate markets while generating extraordinary profits, became the template for Rothschild operations throughout European financial centers. Currency arbitrage operations were expanded, using information networks and coordination capabilities developed for government bond speculation while providing additional revenue streams that complemented government finance operations. International fund transfer services enabled wealthy clients and government authorities to move money between European countries while avoiding currency controls and taxation systems that might limit financial flexibility. Commercial lending operations provided credit for international trade and industrial development, while maintaining relationships with business leaders throughout Europe who needed sophisticated financial services for expanding commercial activities. The integration of information gathering, market manipulation, and coordinated international operations created competitive advantages that enabled the Rothschild family to dominate European finance while establishing precedents for international banking that continue influencing global financial institutions. By 1820, the Waterloo profits had been leveraged into financial operations that generated annual revenues exceeding those of most European governments, while providing influence over economic policies that affected millions of people throughout the continent. The transformation from Frankfurt money changer to European financial power had been completed through systematic development of capabilities that enabled profitable exploitation of political conflicts while maintaining business relationships that transcended national boundaries and political alignments. Waterloo represented not just a military victory, but the emergence of financial power that could influence European politics through economic leverage while remaining largely invisible to public oversight or democratic control. Chapter 4. Government Bonds. The Rothschild family's mastery of government bond trading transformed them from successful international bankers into the unofficial Central Bank of Europe, with the power to determine which countries could fund their military operations, infrastructure projects, and governmental administration through access to international credit markets. Government bonds represented the perfect financial instrument for Rothschild operations because they combined massive scale, government guarantees, and international tradability while providing opportunities for market manipulation through superior information about political and economic conditions affecting government creditworthiness. The post-Napoleonic period created unprecedented demand for government borrowing as European powers needed financing for military expenses, war debt refinancing, and economic reconstruction while establishing new political arrangements that required substantial governmental expenditures. Nathan Rothschild's London operations became the primary market for European government bonds through relationships with British investors who provided capital for international lending, while British legal frameworks protected bond trading operations from political interference. The British government bond market provided the template for international bond trading, while British investment institutions provided capital that could be deployed for foreign government lending through Rothschild coordination with continental European operations. Nathan's expertise in British government finance enabled evaluation of foreign government creditworthiness while providing comparative analysis that attracted British investors to foreign government bonds, offering higher yields than domestic British securities. French government bonds became a major focus for Rothschild operations during the Restoration period, as the French government needed massive financing for war debt repayment while establishing political stability that could support economic recovery and international commercial relationships. James Rothschild's Paris operations provided direct access to French government officials while maintaining relationships with British and other European investors who could provide capital for French government borrowing through international bond placements. French government bond trading required sophisticated understanding of French political stability and economic capabilities while managing currency risks that affected returns for international investors who purchased French bonds denominated in francs. The family's ability to coordinate French government bond sales in multiple European markets provided competitive advantages while enabling larger bond placements than were possible through purely French financial institutions. Austrian government bonds provided similar opportunities through Salomon Rothschild's Vienna operations, while serving Habsburg imperial financial requirements that affected multiple Central European territories and required complex currency and political risk management. Austrian government finance was complicated by the empire's diverse territories with different economic conditions and political relationships, while requiring coordination between imperial authorities and regional governmental structures. The Rothschild family's ability to manage Austrian government bond placements in international markets provided crucial financing for Habsburg imperial operations, while generating substantial profits through bond trading and underwriting fees. Prussian government bonds represented additional opportunities through relationships with German banking institutions, while serving Prussian governmental financial requirements that affected Northern European political and economic stability. Russian government bonds provided access to one of Europe's largest economies, while serving Russian imperial financial requirements that affected Eastern European and Central Asian political relationships and commercial opportunities. Russian government finance required sophisticated understanding of Russian political and economic conditions, while managing currency risks and political instability that affected investment returns for international bondholders. The coordination of government bond operations across multiple European markets enabled the Rothschild family to provide comprehensive international financing while maintaining competitive advantages through superior information and operational capabilities. Bond underwriting operations generated substantial fees while providing influence over government borrowing terms that affected national economic policies and international political relationships. The ability to determine borrowing terms for government bond placements enabled influence over government policies, while creating opportunities for additional profitable transactions through advisory services and follow-up financing requirements. Government bond trading operations generated profits through market-making activities while providing liquidity for international investors who needed to buy or sell government securities for portfolio management and investment requirements. Secondary market operations in government bonds enabled profitable trading through superior information about political and economic conditions affecting government creditworthiness, while providing services to investors who needed immediate liquidity for their government bond holdings. The development of international government bond markets created standardized financial instruments that could be traded across European financial centers, while providing comparative investment opportunities that attracted capital from throughout Europe. Government bond portfolio management services attracted wealthy individual investors and institutional clients who needed sophisticated investment management for government securities, while generating fee income that complemented bond trading profits. The family's reputation for government bond expertise attracted consulting relationships with government officials who needed advice about debt management strategies, while providing advance information about government borrowing plans that enabled profitable trading positions. Credit analysis capabilities enabled superior assessment of government creditworthiness, while providing competitive advantages for bond pricing and investment decisions that affected returns for both Rothschild operations and their clients. Political risk assessment provided crucial evaluation capabilities for government bond investments, while enabling superior understanding of factors that might affect government ability to service debt obligations and maintain bond values. Economic analysis capabilities enabled evaluation of government financial capacity, while providing assessment of economic conditions that affected government revenues and debt service capabilities. Interest rate analysis provided understanding of factors affecting government bond values, while enabling hedging strategies that protected against losses from interest rate changes that might reduce bond values. Currency risk management protected international government bond investments from exchange rate fluctuations, while enabling currency hedging strategies that enhanced returns for investors purchasing foreign government bonds. The integration of government bond trading, underwriting and portfolio management created comprehensive capabilities that served both government issuers and investor clients while generating multiple revenue streams from government bond operations. Information networks provided crucial advantages for government bond trading through advanced knowledge of political developments, economic changes, and policy decisions that affected government creditworthiness and bond values. Market manipulation techniques enabled profitable trading through sophisticated understanding of factors affecting investor psychology and market pricing, while maintaining legal protection for trading strategies that might be considered improper for less sophisticated operators. The scale of Rothschild government bond operations enabled market influence that could affect government borrowing costs, while providing leverage over government policies through control of access to international credit markets. Government relationships developed through bond operations provided informal influence over economic policies, while creating opportunities for additional profitable transactions through advisory services and preferential access to government financial business. By 1830, the Rothschild family controlled approximately 50% of European government bond trading, while providing financing that affected the policies of every major European power and many smaller governments throughout the continent. The government bond operations had transformed the family from successful international bankers into an invisible European financial authority with influence over government policies that affected millions of people while remaining largely free from democratic oversight or public accountability. The precedent established through government bond dominance, using financial leverage to influence government policies while maintaining private control over public financing, became the template for central banking and monetary policy that continues influencing international financial relationships today. Chapter 5. Railway Empire. The explosion of railway construction across Europe during the 1830s and 1840s created the largest infrastructure investment opportunity in human history, and the Rothschild family positioned themselves to control railway financing while demonstrating how financial power could reshape entire continents through systematic infrastructure investment. Railway development required unprecedented capital mobilization that exceeded the financial capabilities of individual governments, traditional banking institutions, or regional investment markets. Only international banking networks with access to multiple capital sources could provide financing for continental railway systems. The Rothschild family's established relationships with government officials, international investors, and commercial banks throughout Europe positioned them uniquely to coordinate railway financing while managing the complex political and financial relationships necessary for cross-border infrastructure projects. Nathan Rothschild's London operations provided access to British capital markets and engineering expertise, while British industrial development had produced the most advanced railway technology and operational experience available for continental European railway construction. British investors were eager for international investment opportunities that offered higher returns than domestic securities, while railway bonds provided government guarantees and infrastructure assets that appealed to conservative investors seeking secure long-term investments. The family's government bond trading expertise provided crucial capabilities for railway financing because railway projects typically required government guarantees, subsidies, or regulatory approval that affected project viability and investment returns for international bondholders. James Rothschild's Paris operations became the center for French railway financing, while developing relationships with French government officials who controlled railway concessions and regulatory policies that determined project profitability and investment security. The Paris Saint-Germain Railway, completed in 1837, provided the first major demonstration of Rothschild railway financing capabilities while establishing operational precedents that influenced French railway development and international railway investment throughout Europe. French railway financing required coordination between government authorities, engineering contractors, and international investors while managing construction risks, political uncertainties, and currency fluctuations that affected project costs and investment returns. The success of French railway projects attracted additional railway investment opportunities throughout Europe, while establishing the Rothschild family's reputation for infrastructure financing that enabled access to major railway projects across the continent. Austrian railway financing through Salomon Rothschild's Vienna operations provided access to Central European railway opportunities while serving Habsburg imperial requirements for improved transportation infrastructure that could enhance military capabilities and commercial development. The Austrian railway system required coordination between imperial authorities and regional governmental structures, while managing complex political relationships between different ethnic and religious communities within the Austrian Empire. Central European railway development created opportunities for extensive international trade, while connecting previously isolated regions with European commercial networks that enhanced economic development and political integration throughout the Austrian territories. German railway financing provided additional opportunities through relationships with German banking institutions while serving multiple German states that needed railway connections for commercial development and political coordination. German political fragmentation created challenges for railway development because projects typically crossed multiple political jurisdictions with different regulatory frameworks, currency systems, and governmental authorities who needed coordination for successful project completion. The Rothschild family's ability to coordinate financing across multiple German states while managing complex political relationships provided competitive advantages that enabled systematic German railway development through integrated financing and construction management. Railway construction management provided additional revenue streams through partnerships with engineering contractors, while ensuring project completion that protected Rothschild investment interests and maintained their reputation for successful infrastructure development. Construction financing required sophisticated cash flow management while coordinating payments to engineering contractors, equipment suppliers, and construction workers throughout multi-year projects that faced weather delays, political disruptions, and technical challenges. Quality control management ensured that railway construction met technical specifications while protecting investor interests through monitoring of construction progress and enforcement of contractual obligations for engineering contractors and equipment suppliers. Railway equipment financing provided additional business opportunities through relationships with British industrial manufacturers who produced locomotives, railway cars, and technical equipment necessary for railway operations. International trade opportunities expanded dramatically through railway development, while creating demand for banking services, currency exchange, and commercial finance that complemented railway financing operations and enhanced overall profitability. Railway bond trading provided ongoing revenue streams through secondary market operations, while enabling investor liquidity for railway securities and portfolio management services for institutional clients who held large railway bond portfolios. Portfolio diversification strategies enabled risk management for railway investments, while spreading railway financing across multiple countries, railway systems, and construction projects that reduced exposure to individual project failures or political disruptions. Political risk management protected railway investments from government policy changes while maintaining relationships with government officials who controlled railway regulation and could affect project profitability through taxation, regulation, or competitive policy decisions. Currency risk management protected international railway investments from exchange rate fluctuations while enabling currency hedging strategies that enhanced returns for investors purchasing foreign railway bonds denominated in different European currencies. Railway operational consulting provided ongoing relationships with railway companies while generating consulting fees through advice about operational efficiency, route planning, and commercial strategies that maximized railway profitability and bond service capabilities. The integration of railway financing, construction management, and operational consulting created comprehensive capabilities that served railway development throughout Europe while generating multiple revenue streams from railway operations. Railway financing success enabled expansion into other infrastructure projects, including canal development, port facilities, mining operations, and industrial development that required similar financial capabilities and governmental relationships. Municipal bond financing provided opportunities for city infrastructure development, while expanding Rothschild operations into local government finance that required similar capabilities to national government bond operations, but with smaller scale and more localized political relationships. Industrial development financing provided opportunities for factory construction and equipment financing, while serving manufacturers who needed capital for industrial expansion that complemented railway development and enhanced commercial opportunities. Mining investment provided opportunities for natural resource development, while generating raw materials necessary for railway construction and industrial development that created integrated business opportunities across multiple economic sectors. The coordination of railway financing with other infrastructure investments created synergistic business opportunities while enabling comprehensive economic development strategies that enhanced regional prosperity and political stability. By 1850, the Rothschild family controlled railway financing for the majority of European railway construction, while providing infrastructure financing that had reshaped continental transportation, commerce, and political relationships. Railway operations generated annual revenues exceeding $2 million, while providing ongoing income streams through bond interest payments, operational consulting fees, and secondary market trading that continued generating profits decades after initial construction completion. The railway empire demonstrated how financial power could transform entire continents through systematic infrastructure investment, while establishing precedents for infrastructure financing that continue influencing international development projects today. The success of railway financing established the Rothschild family as Europe's dominant infrastructure financiers, while providing capabilities that enabled expansion into other large-scale investment projects that required international capital mobilization and governmental relationships. Chapter 6. Central Banking. The establishment of central banks throughout Europe during the 19th century represented the ultimate achievement of Rothschild financial influence, where the family gained direct control over monetary policy, currency creation, and credit allocation that affected entire national economies, while maintaining private ownership of institutions that appeared to serve public interests. Central banking provided the perfect mechanism for translating private financial power into governmental authority, because central banks could control national monetary policies while maintaining private ownership that protected them from democratic oversight or political accountability. The Bank of England, although established before Rothschild involvement, became closely aligned with Rothschild operations through government bond trading relationships that provided influence over British monetary policy, while generating profits through advanced knowledge of policy decisions. Nathan Rothschild's relationships with Bank of England officials provided crucial insights into British monetary policy, while enabling coordination between private Rothschild operations and official central bank policies that affected currency values and government bond prices. British monetary policy coordination enabled Rothschild operations to benefit from advanced knowledge of interest rate changes, currency interventions, and credit policies, while providing unofficial advice that influenced Bank of England decisions about monetary management. The Banque de France provided similar opportunities through James Rothschild's Paris operations, while enabling influence over French monetary policy that affected continental European currency relationships and international trade finance. French central banking relationships provided advanced knowledge of French monetary policy decisions, while enabling coordination between Rothschild operations and official French currency management that affected European financial markets and international investment returns. James Rothschild's unofficial advisory relationships with French governmental authorities provided influence over monetary policy decisions, while generating profitable trading opportunities through advanced knowledge of policy changes that affected currency values and bond prices. The Austrian National Bank provided opportunities for central banking influence through Salomon Rothschild's Vienna operations, while enabling coordination with Habsburg imperial monetary policies that affected Central European currency relationships and commercial finance. Austrian monetary policy influence provided advanced knowledge of imperial financial decisions, while enabling coordination between Rothschild operations and official Austrian currency management that affected multinational Habsburg economic relationships. Central European monetary coordination required sophisticated understanding of complex currency relationships between Austrian territories with different economic conditions and commercial requirements while maintaining imperial monetary unity. Prussian central banking relationships provided additional opportunities for monetary policy influence while serving German governmental financial requirements and enabling coordination with emerging German monetary unification efforts. German monetary policy influence required coordination between multiple German states with different currency systems and economic conditions, while managing political relationships that affected German commercial development and international trade relationships. Russian central banking opportunities provided access to Eastern European monetary policy, while serving Russian imperial financial requirements that affected massive territories spanning Europe and Asia, with diverse economic conditions. Russian monetary policy relationships required sophisticated understanding of Russian political and economic conditions while managing currency risks associated with Russian territorial expansion and international political relationships. The coordination of central banking relationships across multiple European countries enabled systematic influence over continental monetary policies while providing opportunities for currency arbitrage and government bond trading that generated extraordinary profits. Currency arbitrage operations were enhanced through central banking relationships that provided advanced knowledge of monetary policy decisions while enabling profitable trading based on policy changes that affected exchange rates between European currencies. Government bond trading was enhanced through central banking relationships that provided advanced knowledge of interest rate policies while enabling profitable speculation based on policy decisions that affected bond values and yield relationships. International monetary coordination enabled influence over cross-border currency relationships while providing opportunities for profitable trading through advanced knowledge of coordinated monetary policies that affected international trade and investment relationships. Central banking consulting services provided unofficial advisory relationships with central bank officials while generating consulting fees through advice about monetary policy strategies that served both central bank objectives and Rothschild commercial interests. Monetary policy analysis capabilities enabled superior understanding of factors affecting currency values and interest rates, while providing competitive advantages for trading and investment decisions that required advanced knowledge of monetary policy changes. Economic research capabilities provided analysis of economic conditions that affected monetary policy decisions, while enabling superior forecasting of policy changes that influenced currency values and bond prices. Financial market analysis provided understanding of market conditions that affected monetary policy implementation, while enabling superior trading strategies based on market psychology and institutional behavior patterns. Central bank operational consulting provided technical advice about monetary policy implementation while generating consulting relationships that provided advanced knowledge of policy decisions and access to central bank officials. The development of international monetary coordination created opportunities for systematic influence over European monetary policies while enabling profitable exploitation of currency relationships and interest rate differentials between different national monetary systems. Gold standard operations provided additional central banking opportunities because gold standard maintenance required coordination between central banks while creating arbitrage opportunities for financial institutions with international operations and superior information. Gold trading operations enabled profitable speculation through advanced knowledge of central bank gold policies while providing arbitrage opportunities based on gold price differences between European financial centers and international gold markets. Silver trading operations provided similar opportunities through central bank silver policies, while enabling profitable arbitrage based on bimetallic currency systems that created trading opportunities between gold and silver monetary standards. International monetary conferences provided opportunities for policy influence while enabling advanced knowledge of monetary policy coordination between European central banks that affected currency relationships and international trade finance. Monetary policy lobbying provided influence over central bank decisions while maintaining private interests that could conflict with public monetary policy objectives but were protected through informal relationships and confidential advisory services. The integration of central banking relationships with private financial operations created potential conflicts between public monetary policy objectives and private profit opportunities that were managed through maintaining confidentiality about advisory relationships. Central banking influence provided competitive advantages for private financial operations, while creating moral hazard problems where private institutions could benefit from advanced knowledge of public policy decisions that affected financial market conditions. By 1870, the Rothschild family had achieved significant influence over central banking policies throughout Europe, while maintaining private financial operations that could benefit from advanced knowledge of monetary policy decisions and coordination with central bank operations. Central banking relationships provided the ultimate demonstration of how private financial power could achieve influence over public monetary policies while maintaining private ownership of institutions and relationships that enabled profitable exploitation of governmental financial authority. The precedent established through central banking influence, using private financial relationships to influence public monetary policies while maintaining profit opportunities based on advanced policy knowledge, became the template for modern central banking relationships with private financial institutions. Modern central banking systems continue reflecting institutional arrangements developed during the 19th century, where private financial institutions maintain advisory relationships with central banks while benefiting from policy coordination that may serve private interests rather than public monetary policy objectives. The central banking empire demonstrated how financial power could transcend democratic oversight while achieving influence over governmental policies that affected millions of people through monetary decisions made by unelected officials serving private financial interests. Chapter 7. Gold Standard. The international gold standard that dominated global finance from 1870 to 1914 represented the pinnacle of Rothschild financial influence, where the family's control over global gold trading, central bank relationships, and international monetary coordination enabled them to effectively manage the world's currency system while generating enormous profits through gold arbitrage operations. Gold standard operations required unprecedented international coordination because currency values were tied to gold prices, while international trade and investment required stable exchange rates that could only be maintained through coordinated central bank policies and sophisticated gold trading operations. The Rothschild family's established relationships with European central banks provided crucial advantages for gold standard management, while their international banking network enabled complex gold arbitrage operations that maintained currency stability while generating substantial trading profits. Gold production was concentrated in relatively few locations during the 19th century, with major sources in South Africa, Russia, California, and Australia, providing the global gold supply that determined international monetary stability and currency values for all gold standard countries. The family's investments in gold mining operations provided partial control over global gold supply, while generating profits through both mining operations and advanced knowledge of production changes that affected gold prices and currency relationships. South African gold mining investments became particularly important after the discovery of major gold deposits in the Witwatersrand region during the 1880s, when Rothschild financing enabled large-scale mining operations that dramatically increased global gold production. Gold refining operations provided additional control over gold supply, while enabling quality standardization that facilitated international gold trading and central bank operations that required consistent gold purity for monetary reserve management. London became the center for international gold trading through Rothschild operations that provided market-making services for central banks, commercial banks, and international investors who needed gold trading capabilities for monetary and investment purposes. The London Gold Fix, established through Rothschild coordination, created standardized gold pricing that facilitated international trade and investment while providing Rothschild operations with influence over daily gold price determination that affected global currency relationships. Gold arbitrage operations generated substantial profits through sophisticated understanding of factors affecting gold supply and demand, while enabling exploitation of gold price differences between international markets that required rapid execution and superior information. Central bank gold operations required coordination between multiple national monetary authorities while managing gold reserve requirements that maintained currency stability and international confidence in gold standard currency convertibility. The Bank of England's gold operations were coordinated with Rothschild gold trading while maintaining British currency stability that anchored the international gold standard and provided foundation for global trade and investment relationships. French central bank gold operations required coordination with Rothschild Paris operations while managing French currency relationships within the international gold standard system that affected continental European monetary stability. German central bank gold operations became increasingly important after German monetary unification during the 1870s created the German Empire with gold standard currency that required sophisticated gold reserve management for monetary stability. Austrian central bank gold operations required coordination between Habsburg imperial monetary policies and gold standard requirements while managing complex currency relationships within the multinational Austrian Empire. Russian central bank gold operations were complicated by Russian gold production and currency instability while requiring coordination with international gold markets that affected Russian economic development and international trade relationships. International gold shipments required sophisticated logistics coordination while managing security risks associated with transporting valuable gold cargoes between international financial centers and central bank facilities. Gold storage operations provided secure facilities for central bank reserves while generating storage fees and enabling loans secured by gold collateral that enhanced profitability while serving central bank operational requirements. Gold lending operations provided liquidity for central banks and commercial institutions while generating interest income through gold loans that were secured by gold collateral and supported international monetary operations. The coordination of gold standard operations across multiple countries required sophisticated understanding of international monetary relationships while enabling profitable exploitation of currency arbitrage opportunities created by gold standard maintenance requirements. Currency arbitrage operations were enhanced through gold standard relationships that provided advanced knowledge of central bank gold policies while enabling profitable trading based on gold flows that affected exchange rates between gold standard currencies. International trade finance was facilitated through gold standard stability that reduced currency risks while enabling long-term commercial relationships that required predictable exchange rates for international business planning and investment decisions. Investment flows were enhanced through gold standard stability that reduced currency uncertainties while enabling international investment relationships that contributed to global economic development and commercial expansion. Gold standard maintenance required periodic international monetary conferences that provided opportunities for policy coordination while enabling Rothschild influence over international monetary policies through advisory relationships with central bank officials. Monetary policy coordination enabled systematic influence over international gold standard operations while providing opportunities for profitable trading through advanced knowledge of coordinated policies that affected gold flows and currency relationships. The breakdown of international monetary coordination during financial crises created opportunities for profitable speculation while demonstrating the vulnerabilities of gold standard systems that depended on international cooperation and coordinated central bank policies. Financial crisis management during gold standard periods required coordination between central banks and private financial institutions while creating opportunities for profitable intervention through gold trading and lending operations that stabilized monetary systems. The Bank of England's role as gold standard anchor required coordination with Rothschild operations while maintaining British monetary leadership that influenced international gold standard stability and global currency relationships. International monetary leadership provided Britain with economic advantages while creating dependencies for other countries that relied on British monetary stability for their own currency management and international trade relationships. Colonial monetary systems were integrated into gold standard operations through British imperial relationships while providing opportunities for profitable exploitation of colonial gold production and monetary management. Imperial monetary coordination enabled systematic exploitation of colonial economies while maintaining metropolitan control over colonial monetary policies that affected resource extraction and commercial relationships. The integration of gold mining, gold trading, and central banking relationships created comprehensive control over international monetary systems while generating multiple revenue streams from gold standard operations. By 1900, the Rothschild family exercised significant influence over international gold standard operations while maintaining private ownership of institutions and relationships that enabled profitable exploitation of global monetary systems. Gold standard influence provided the ultimate demonstration of how private financial power could achieve control over international monetary policies while maintaining profit opportunities that might conflict with public interests in monetary stability. The gold standard period represented the apex of Rothschild financial influence, when private financial relationships could effectively control international monetary systems while remaining largely free from democratic oversight or public accountability. The eventual collapse of the gold standard during World War I marked the end of an era when private financial institutions could exercise direct control over international monetary policies while maintaining profit opportunities that transcended national governmental authority. Chapter 8. War financing. The financing of European wars during the 19th and early 20th centuries provided the Rothschild family with their most profitable and controversial business opportunities, where they developed the practice of lending to multiple sides in military conflicts while ensuring that war outcomes served their financial interests regardless of which nations achieved victory. War financing represented the ultimate expression of Rothschild financial power because military conflicts required massive capital mobilization that exceeded the capabilities of individual governments, while creating opportunities for financial institutions that could provide international credit and currency services. The Crimean War, 1853-1856, provided the first major demonstration of systematic war financing through coordinated Rothschild operations that served both British and French military requirements, while maintaining profitable relationships with Russian financial institutions. British war financing required massive government borrowing to fund military expeditions, equipment procurement, and naval operations while maintaining domestic economic stability during extended military campaigns that strained governmental financial resources. Nathan Rothschild's London operations provided crucial war financing through government bond underwriting and syndicated lending while coordinating with continental European Rothschild banks that could provide additional capital and international financial services. French war financing required similar capital mobilization, while coordinating French and British military objectives that required unprecedented international financial cooperation between traditionally competing European powers. James Rothschild's Paris operations provided French war financing while maintaining coordination with British Rothschild operations that enabled integrated financial support for Allied military operations against Russian forces. The coordination of British and French war financing demonstrated Rothschild capabilities for managing complex international financial relationships while serving multiple governments that required coordinated military and financial strategies. Russian financial relationships were maintained through discrete channels that provided financial services to Russian governmental and commercial institutions while avoiding obvious conflicts with British and French military financing operations. The ability to maintain profitable relationships with all sides during military conflicts demonstrated Rothschild neutrality that protected their operations while maximizing financial opportunities regardless of military outcomes or political changes. The Franco-Prussian War, 1870-1871, provided additional opportunities for war financing while demonstrating how military conflicts created financial opportunities that could exceed the economic value of peaceful commercial relationships. French war financing requirements included immediate funding for military mobilization, while managing currency stability and international trade relationships that were disrupted by Prussian military advances and siege operations. Prussian war financing was provided through German banking relationships while coordinating with Rothschild operations that could provide international financial services and currency management that enhanced Prussian military capabilities. The Siege of Paris created extraordinary financial challenges that required innovative financial techniques for maintaining governmental operations and civilian supply systems during extended military occupation and economic disruption. French government bond trading during the war provided opportunities for profitable speculation through advanced knowledge of military developments, while enabling arbitrage operations based on market psychology and investor fears. Post-war French reparations payments to Germany created massive international financial transfer requirements that were managed through Rothschild operations while generating substantial fees for international money transfer and currency conversion services. The German reparations provided capital for German economic development while creating financial relationships that enhanced Rothschild operations in German financial markets and enabled expanded business opportunities. Austrian military financing was provided during various conflicts through Salomon Rothschild's Vienna operations, while serving Habsburg imperial military requirements that affected multiple European territorial and political relationships. Italian unification wars required sophisticated financial management while serving multiple Italian states and foreign powers that supported or opposed Italian territorial consolidation and political reorganization. Military equipment financing provided additional revenue streams through relationships with arms manufacturers, while enabling credit arrangements that facilitated weapons procurement for multiple governments and military organizations. International arms trade financing required discrete arrangements that could serve competing military powers while maintaining legal protection and operational security for financial institutions involved in weapons procurement and distribution. Naval financing became increasingly important during periods of naval competition between European powers, while requiring specialized knowledge of shipbuilding costs, naval technology, and maritime strategic requirements. Military infrastructure financing included fortifications, transportation systems, and communication networks that required long-term capital commitments while serving governmental strategic objectives and enhancing national military capabilities. War bond trading provided opportunities for profitable speculation during military conflicts, while enabling risk management for investors who needed liquidity for government securities issued to fund military operations. Currency speculation during wartime enabled profits through advanced knowledge of military developments that affected exchange rates while providing hedging services for international investors and commercial institutions. International trade disruption created opportunities for alternative trade financing, while enabling profitable exploitation of commercial dislocations caused by military conflicts and territorial changes. Reconstruction financing provided opportunities for post-war economic development, while serving governmental requirements for infrastructure rebuilding and economic recovery following military destruction. Colonial military financing extended war financing opportunities to imperial conflicts, while serving European powers that required funding for military operations in Africa, Asia, and other colonial territories. Imperial expansion financing provided capital for territorial acquisition, while serving European powers that needed funding for colonial administration and military operations that established and maintained overseas empires. The integration of military financing with peacetime financial operations enabled systematic exploitation of international conflicts while maintaining business relationships that could serve both military and civilian governmental requirements. Intelligence operations provided advanced knowledge of military planning while enabling profitable trading based on military developments that affected government bond prices, currency values, and commodity markets. Diplomatic relationships provided influence over peace negotiations while enabling favorable financial arrangements for post-war reconstruction and reparations that enhanced profitability and created ongoing business opportunities. The development of international military financing created precedents for systematic exploitation of international conflicts while establishing financial institutions that could profit from warfare regardless of military outcomes or human costs. War profiteering through financial services demonstrated how systematic exploitation of international conflicts could generate extraordinary profits while maintaining legal protection and social respectability for financial institutions. By 1914, the Rothschild family had achieved systematic capabilities for war financing that enabled profitable exploitation of international military conflicts while maintaining relationships with all major European powers regardless of their military or political alignments. World War I provided the ultimate test of war financing capabilities while creating financial opportunities that exceeded anything previously experienced in international conflicts and established precedents for modern military-industrial financial relationships. The scale and duration of World War I financing requirements demonstrated how military conflicts had evolved into total economic warfare that required comprehensive financial mobilization exceeding the capabilities of individual national governments. War financing operations established precedents for systematic exploitation of international conflicts while creating financial institutions and relationships that continue influencing military financing and international conflict profiteering today. Chapter 9. Modern Power. The Rothschild Empire today operates through a complex network of private banks, investment funds, and financial institutions that manage over $2 trillion in assets while maintaining the family's traditional influence over global financial markets, government policies, and international monetary systems. Contemporary Rothschild operations have evolved from the 19th century model of individual family banks into sophisticated financial institutions that operate globally while maintaining family control over strategic decisions and preserving the discretion that has characterized their operations for centuries. Rothschild & Co., the family's primary banking institution, operates in major financial centers worldwide while providing investment banking, wealth management, and advisory services to governments, multinational corporations, and ultra-wealthy families who require sophisticated financial services. Investment banking operations include merger and acquisition advisory services, capital markets activities, and corporate finance that serves multinational corporations and sovereign governments while generating substantial fee income through complex international transactions. Wealth management services attract ultra-high net worth families and institutional clients while providing discretionary investment management, family office services, and estate planning that emphasizes privacy and long-term wealth preservation strategies. Government advisory services continue the family's traditional relationships with sovereign authorities while providing debt management, privatization advisory, and economic policy consultation that influences national economic strategies and international financial relationships. The family's wine operations through Baron Philippe de Rothschild and Chateau Lafite Rothschild represent legitimate business interests while providing social connections and cultural influence that complement financial operations and enhance family prestige. Edmond de Rothschild Group operates as a separate banking institution that provides private banking, asset management, and corporate advisory services while maintaining family ownership and emphasizing discretionary investment management for wealthy international clients. Real estate investments include premium properties in major international cities while providing portfolio diversification and long-term wealth preservation that complements financial services operations and generates rental income from commercial and residential properties. Natural resource investments include mining operations, energy projects, and agricultural investments, while providing exposure to commodity markets and natural resource development that generates returns independent of financial market conditions. Venture capital and private equity operations provide early-stage financing for technology companies and growth businesses, while generating investment returns through equity participation and enabling access to emerging technological innovations. Philanthropic activities through Rothschild foundations provide social impact while creating positive public relationships and tax advantages that complement commercial operations and enhance family reputation for social responsibility. Central banking relationships continue influencing monetary policy through advisory services and policy consultation, while providing advance insights into policy decisions that affect financial markets and investment opportunities. The Bank for International Settlements maintains connections with Rothschild operations through historical relationships and ongoing advisory services, while coordinating international monetary policies that affect global financial stability and currency relationships. International Monetary Fund relationships provide influence over global economic policies, while enabling advisory services for sovereign debt management and economic development programs that affect international financial markets. World Bank relationships enable influence over development financing, while providing opportunities for participation in international development projects and infrastructure financing that generates returns while serving development objectives. Cryptocurrency and digital asset operations represent new opportunities for financial innovation, while enabling participation in emerging financial technologies that could reshape international monetary systems and financial services delivery. Fintech investments provide exposure to financial technology innovations while enabling early access to technological developments that could enhance traditional financial services and create new revenue opportunities. Environmental, social, and governance (ESG) investing represents opportunities for sustainable investment while addressing contemporary social expectations and regulatory requirements that affect institutional investment and corporate finance. Climate finance operations provide financing for environmental projects while addressing climate change challenges that create investment opportunities and regulatory requirements affecting traditional energy and industrial investments. Artificial intelligence and machine learning applications enhance investment management capabilities while improving operational efficiency and risk management that provides competitive advantages for financial services operations. Blockchain technology applications provide opportunities for financial innovation while enabling development of new financial products and services that could enhance transaction efficiency and security for international financial operations. Regulatory arbitrage opportunities enable strategic positioning across multiple jurisdictions, while optimizing regulatory treatment for different financial activities and enabling access to favorable regulatory environments. Tax optimization strategies utilize international tax planning while minimizing tax obligations through sophisticated international structures that take advantage of different national tax systems and international tax treaties. Family office services coordinate wealth management across multiple generations while providing comprehensive financial services that preserve family wealth and enable succession planning that maintains family control over business operations. Succession planning ensures continued family control while preparing younger generations for leadership responsibilities and maintaining family unity that enables coordinated strategic decision-making across multiple business operations. Privacy protection strategies maintain family discretion while avoiding public attention that might compromise business operations or attract unwanted regulatory oversight that could limit operational flexibility. Information networks continue providing competitive advantages while enabling advanced knowledge of political and economic developments that affect investment opportunities and risk management for financial operations. Political relationships provide influence over policy decisions while enabling access to government officials who control regulatory policies and economic decisions that affect financial markets and business opportunities. International relationship management maintains global business networks while enabling coordination of financial operations across multiple jurisdictions and regulatory environments that provide business opportunities and risk diversification. The integration of traditional financial services with contemporary technological innovations enables continued competitive advantages while adapting to changing market conditions and regulatory requirements that affect international financial operations. Modern portfolio management utilizes advanced analytics and artificial intelligence while maintaining traditional investment principles that emphasize long-term value creation and risk management that preserves family wealth across market cycles. Risk management capabilities utilize sophisticated modeling and hedging strategies while maintaining conservative investment principles that protect family wealth from market volatility and economic disruptions that could threaten accumulated assets. Global economic influence continues through financial institution ownership and advisory relationships, while maintaining the family's traditional role in international monetary system management and economic policy coordination. Contemporary Rothschild operations represent the evolution of traditional international banking into modern financial services while maintaining family control and discretionary management that preserves competitive advantages developed over centuries of financial innovation. The modern Rothschild empire demonstrates how traditional financial power can adapt to contemporary conditions while maintaining influence over international financial systems that affects global economic relationships and monetary policies. Today's Rothschild influence operates through more sophisticated and discrete mechanisms than historical operations, while maintaining the family's traditional capabilities for influencing international financial systems and government policies through private financial relationships. The modern Rothschild empire operates through a sophisticated network of interconnected financial institutions that span the globe while maintaining family control over strategic decisions and preserving the operational discretion that has characterized their business for over 2 centuries. This contemporary structure represents the evolution of 19th century banking houses into 21st century financial conglomerates. Rothschild & Co., the family's flagship institution, operates from offices in 40 countries while managing assets exceeding $100 billion and employing over 3,800 professionals worldwide. The bank's operations encompass investment banking, private wealth management, asset management, and merchant banking that serves governments, multinational corporations, and ultra-wealthy families requiring sophisticated financial services. The investment banking division specializes in merger and acquisition advisory, capital markets transactions, and restructuring services for multinational corporations and sovereign governments. Recent transactions include advising on the $85 billion merger between Anheuser-Busch InBev and SAB Miller, demonstrating continued influence over major corporate reorganizations that reshape entire industries. Private wealth management operations serve approximately 2,800 ultra-high net worth families worldwide, with minimum account sizes typically exceeding $10 million. These clients include European royalty, industrial dynasties, technology entrepreneurs, and political leaders who require discretionary wealth management, emphasizing privacy and long-term wealth preservation. Asset management operations oversee specialized investment funds that focus on alternative investments, natural resources, and private equity opportunities not available through traditional financial institutions. These funds provide institutional investors and wealthy families with access to investment opportunities that require specialized expertise and relationship access. Merchant banking operations provide principal investment capabilities, where Rothschild & Co. invests its own capital alongside client funds in private equity, real estate, and venture capital opportunities. This approach aligns Rothschild interests with client objectives while providing additional revenue streams through investment appreciation. Government advisory services continue the family's traditional role in sovereign finance, while adapting to contemporary requirements for debt management, privatization programs, and economic policy consultation. These relationships provide advanced insights into government policy decisions, while generating substantial advisory fees from sovereign clients. Recent government mandates include advising the UK government on the privatization of Royal Mail, the French government on railway infrastructure financing, and multiple African governments on natural resource development programs. These engagements demonstrate continued influence over major governmental policy decisions affecting millions of people. Sovereign debt advisory services help governments manage their borrowing requirements, while optimizing debt structures and accessing international capital markets. This expertise provides governments with sophisticated financial capabilities while ensuring Rothschild involvement in major sovereign financing decisions. Privatization advisory services assist governments in converting state-owned enterprises into private companies through initial public offerings or private sales. These transactions generate substantial fees while providing Rothschild institutions with opportunities to acquire valuable assets during privatization processes. Central bank relationships continue providing informal advisory services to monetary authorities while maintaining the traditional Rothschild role in international monetary policy coordination. These relationships provide advanced insights into monetary policy decisions while enabling influence over central bank policies through unofficial consultation. The Bank for International Settlements maintains historical connections with Rothschild operations through advisory relationships and policy consultation that influences international monetary coordination between central banks. These relationships provide access to global monetary policy decisions while maintaining traditional central banking influence. International monetary fund relationships enable influence over global economic policies through advisory services and policy consultation that affects international development programs and sovereign debt management. These relationships provide opportunities for influence over policies, affecting developing countries and emerging markets. Rothschild venture capital operations have evolved to encompass fintech, artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, and other emerging sectors that could reshape international finance. These investments provide early access to technological innovations while generating returns through equity participation in growth companies. Fintech investments include stakes in digital payment platforms, robo-advisory services, and cryptocurrency exchanges that represent the future of financial services delivery. These investments position Rothschild operations to benefit from technological disruption while maintaining competitive advantages in traditional financial services. Blockchain technology investments focus on applications that could enhance international financial transactions, improve settlement systems, and create new financial products. These investments provide exposure to potentially revolutionary technologies while enabling influence over their development and implementation. Artificial intelligence applications are being integrated into Rothschild investment management operations to enhance portfolio analysis, risk management, and client service delivery. AI capabilities provide competitive advantages while improving operational efficiency and investment decision-making processes. Cybersecurity investments protect Rothschild operations from technological threats while providing investment opportunities in companies developing security solutions for financial institutions. These investments address operational risks while generating returns from growing cybersecurity market demand. Digital asset management services provide sophisticated investment capabilities for cryptocurrencies and digital assets, while serving clients who require professional management of alternative investment portfolios. These services address emerging client requirements while generating new revenue streams. Environmental, social, and governance (ESG) investing represents a significant focus for contemporary Rothschild operations as institutional investors increasingly demand sustainable investment options that address climate change and social impact objectives while generating competitive financial returns. Climate finance operations provide financing for renewable energy projects, carbon reduction initiatives, and sustainable development programs while generating investment returns through exposure to rapidly growing environmental markets. These investments address regulatory requirements while positioning Rothschild operations for future market opportunities. Green bond underwriting services help governments and corporations raise capital for environmental projects, while providing Rothschild institutions with opportunities to participate in rapidly growing sustainable finance markets. Green bonds represent one of the fastest growing segments of international debt markets. Natural capital investments focus on sustainable agriculture, water resources, and biodiversity conservation projects that generate financial returns while providing environmental benefits. These investments demonstrate commitment to sustainable development while accessing investment opportunities in natural resource sectors. Social impact investing provides capital for projects addressing education, healthcare, and economic development in underserved communities while generating financial returns through social impact bonds and development finance instruments. These investments demonstrate corporate social responsibility while accessing new investment markets. Sustainable infrastructure financing provides capital for transportation, energy, and communication projects that meet environmental and social standards while generating long-term investment returns. Infrastructure investments provide portfolio diversification while addressing global development requirements. Environmental risk assessment capabilities help clients evaluate climate-related risks affecting their investment portfolios while developing strategies for climate adaptation and mitigation that protect investment values from environmental disruption. Contemporary Rothschild influence operates through sophisticated relationship management with political leaders, policymakers, and international institutions while maintaining the traditional emphasis on discretion and unofficial advisory relationships that avoid public accountability. Political relationship management maintains connections with elected officials and policymakers throughout Europe, North America, and emerging markets while providing policy insights and maintaining influence over regulatory decisions affecting financial services and international commerce. Diplomatic relationships provide access to ambassadors, trade representatives, and international negotiators while enabling influence over trade policies, regulatory frameworks, and international agreements affecting global financial markets and investment opportunities. Think tank relationships provide platforms for policy influence while enabling participation in policy development through research institutions and academic organizations that influence governmental policy decisions. These relationships provide intellectual credibility while maintaining policy influence. International conference participation enables relationship development with global political and business leaders while providing platforms for policy influence through World Economic Forum, Bilderberg Group, and other elite gatherings that influence international policy coordination. Media relationships manage public perception while maintaining the traditional Rothschild emphasis on privacy and discretion that protects business operations from unwanted public attention or regulatory scrutiny that might limit operational flexibility. Academic relationships provide intellectual credibility while enabling influence over economic research and policy development through university endowments, research grants, and academic partnerships that influence economic thought and policy recommendations. Family office services have expanded to serve multiple generations of ultra-wealthy families while providing comprehensive wealth management that encompasses investment management, estate planning, tax optimization, and succession planning for complex international wealth structures. Multi-generational wealth planning addresses the challenges of preserving wealth across generations while maintaining family unity and preparing younger family members for wealth stewardship responsibilities. These services are particularly valuable for families who have accumulated substantial wealth and need sophisticated succession planning. International tax optimization utilizes complex international structures and tax treaty advantages while minimizing tax obligations through sophisticated planning that takes advantage of different national tax systems and regulatory environments. Tax optimization generates significant value for wealthy clients while requiring specialized expertise. Estate planning services help wealthy families structure inheritance arrangements while minimizing estate taxes and ensuring smooth wealth transfer across generations. These services require sophisticated legal and tax expertise while addressing complex family dynamics and succession challenges. Philanthropic advisory services help wealthy families develop charitable giving strategies while maximizing tax advantages and social impact through sophisticated foundation structures and charitable vehicles. Philanthropic planning provides tax benefits while enhancing family reputation and social influence. Investment committee services provide wealthy families with access to Rothschild investment expertise while maintaining family control over investment decisions through advisory relationships that combine professional management with family oversight and strategic direction. Lifestyle management services address the comprehensive needs of ultra-wealthy families, including property management, security arrangements, travel coordination, and personal services that enable family members to focus on business and philanthropic activities. Contemporary Rothschild operations utilize sophisticated regulatory arbitrage strategies that optimize regulatory treatment across multiple jurisdictions while accessing favorable regulatory environments for different financial activities and investment strategies. Offshore financial center utilization provides tax optimization and regulatory advantages while maintaining privacy protection that appeals to wealthy clients seeking asset protection and confidential wealth management services. Offshore structures remain crucial for international wealth management. European Union regulatory optimization takes advantage of financial services passporting rights while accessing favorable regulatory treatment in different EU jurisdictions that provide competitive advantages for various financial activities and client services. Swiss banking relationships maintain traditional emphasis on banking secrecy and privacy protection, while adapting to contemporary regulatory requirements for tax compliance and anti-money laundering that affect international private banking operations. Singapore Financial Center Development provides access to Asian wealth management markets while utilizing Singapore's favorable regulatory environment for private banking and asset management, serving Asian wealthy families and international clients. Luxembourg Fund Domiciliation utilizes Luxembourg's sophisticated fund regulation and tax advantages while accessing European investment markets through one of Europe's most favorable jurisdictions for international investment fund operations.